Dear children, we were studying chapter 11 biotechnology principles and processes, and we were discussing about various tools that are needed for doing the process of biotechnology. Like we studied about restriction endonucleases, gel electrophoresis, okay, to separate the fragments of DNA. Then the cloning vectors, and we were studying the characteristic features of of a good cloning vector. Okay, so we have discussed already they should have an origin of replication. Okay, then there should be a selectable marker, then cloning sites. Okay, so these are what the necessity. Okay, or to consider a vector as a good vector, these characters should be there in the vector. Okay, so we have already studied that markers are what, which help to select the recombinants from the non-recombinants, and these markers are usually what, the some of the genes itself. Okay, like what, some antibiotic resistant genes. So when this antibiotic resistant genes in that site, if any gene of interest is inserted, what will happen, that will due to that insertion of our gene of interest, that antibiotic resistance will be lost, and that kind of genes can be, so that kind of recombinant DNAs, or the organism with that particular recombinant DNA can be isolated by plating them in medium containing that particular antibiotic. Okay, so this selection of this recombinants due to inactivation of antibiotics is very tedious process. Okay, very hard process, because why, we have to what, plate, or we have to grow this type of what organisms on two plates. Okay, simultaneous plating means we have to grow them on two plates having two different antibiotics. Okay, so for this, okay, to make the procedure little more easy, another alternative selectable markers are developed. Okay, which can which can differentiate recombinants from non-recombinants. Okay, on the basis of their ability to produce color. Okay, in the presence of a chromogenic substrate. Understood? So before that, what we used to do, to what the antibiotic resistant sites will be there in PBR 322, you have seen. Okay, so which is the what recombinant one, and which is not recombined. For understanding this, we have to plate them in two different medium having two different antibiotics. Okay, so the one which was having the recombined DNA will not be able to what, live in a medium which is having what, the that particular antibiotic. Okay, because their antibiotic resistance power is lost due to the insertion of that particular gene, okay, of our interest. And due to this, okay, and this I told it is a very tedious process, simultaneous plating of what the this colonies is needed in two plates having different antibiotics. So to avoid this, another technique has been developed. So this technique is based on what, based on the ability to produce color in the presence of a chromogenic substance. Okay, so in this, a recombinant DNA is inserted, okay, within the sequence of an enzyme beta galactosidase. Okay, so this enzyme, okay, for the production of this enzyme, genes are needed, and this genes, when a particular gene is introduced into this gene which is responsible for the production of this enzyme, okay, what will happen, the enzyme cannot be produced. Okay, so that process by which the activity of a gene is what, stopped is known as insertional inactivation. Inactivation of a particular gene due to the insertion of a gene fragment is called what? Insertional inactivation. Understood? So if the plasmid in the bacteria is not having a foreign gene or an insert, okay, it gives blue colored colonies in the presence of a chromogenic substrate. Understood? So presence of insert, if there is a insert or if a foreign gene is inserted into that particular gene which is producing that particular enzyme which is needed for the production of that blue color. Understood? If there is an insert, what will happen? The gene will get inactivated and the particular enzymes cannot be produced. Okay, and this will be identified as recombined colony. So when you are after doing the procedure of this insertion of genes, okay, you will check whether the plasmid is having that particular gene of our interest or not. So how you will understand this? If the colonies, if the bacteriums are grown in a colony in a medium, okay, you can see that two types of colonies. One is what? Producing the blue color colonies in the presence of a chromogenic substance, okay, and the other colonies will be colorless. The colorless is due to what? Due to the insertion of the foreign gene which we were used to, which we were trying to insert into them. Understood? So in that particular plasmid, the gene of our interest is successfully incorporated. That's what the gene which is responsible for the enzyme galactosidase got inactivated, and due to that colony will not be able to produce the color. Understood? So this is an example for insertional inactivation. What do you mean by insertional inactivation? It is the inactivation of genes by the insertion of a particular any foreign gene. Understood? So when you are adding a particular gene or simply a nucleotide, we have studied that it may result in what? Mutation. Why? Because as triplets, isn't it? Codons, do you remember? Codons are triplets. So each 3-letter codons will code for one amino acid. Okay, so if anything is added in between, what will happen? That will change the series, and if the series is changed, what will happen? The amino acid coded by that particular series will also be different. So in this way, it will be what? Causing mutation. So when you are adding any insert into a particular gene, what will happen? It can result in mutation. Okay, or that process is known as what? Insertional inactivation. So this technique is used in biotechnology to identify the recombinants from the non-recombinant ones by using what? By growing the bacterium, or by growing them in a medium containing chromogenic substrate. Is it clear? Next topic that we have to study is vectors for cloning genes in plants and animals. Okay, so you know that when virus, okay, attacks the bacteria or any other animals, plants, etc., their protein code will stay outside and their genes will go and what? Integrate or incorporate into the what? Genome of the host cell, isn't it? So this, how they are delivering this kind of genes into the host cells. Okay, so for example, one bacterium known as Agrobacterium tumefaciens. What it is? Agrobacterium tumefaciens. You learn the name, underline it separately, and you have to write it without any spelling mistake. Okay, so this kind of bacteria where the pathogens of several plants, okay, dicot plants, okay, and how they attack, no, they deliver a piece of DNA. That DNA is known as tDNA, okay, or transfer DNA, okay, tDNA or transfer DNA into the plant cell. Okay, and then what happened, the plant cell will start producing tumors. Okay, is it clear? That is, the Agrobacterium tumefaciens is a pathogen, and it deliver a piece of DNA known as what, tDNA, into the host cell to transform normal plant cell into a tumor. Okay, is it clear? So how this Agrobacterium tumefaciens works is, when they attack the plant, what they do, they transfer a piece of DNA. That DNA is known as what, tDNA, into the normal cell, and this normal cell will what, get converted into tumor. Understood? And this tDNA, okay, that transform the normal plant cell into a tumor, and also they direct, okay, the tumor cells to produce the chemicals which are required by the pathogens. Understood? So in this way they work, and in this way only another group of viruses known as retroviruses, okay, they can also convert normal cells into cancerous cells. Okay, so, and the tDNA also direct the tumor cells to produce the chemicals required by the pathogen. Okay, and another example is what, retroviruses. What are retroviruses? Viruses which are having RNA in them are known as what, retroviruses. Okay, and they will convert the normal cells into cancer cells. Okay, so this knowledge of what, delivering, how these the pathogens deliver their genes into the host cells. Okay, this is very useful in understanding the delivering genes of interest into humans. Okay, so the tumor inducing plasmid, that is TI plasmid or tDNA of bacterium, what, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, these are widely used after modifying them into a cloning vector which is not having any pathogenic effect. Okay, so they will not have any pathogenic effect, but they can be modified to deliver our gene of interest into the to the variety of plants. Okay, so like this only retroviruses. Okay, so retroviruses and Agrobacterium tumefaciens are examples where we can use the these organisms to deliver the genes of our interest into the plants or animals. Okay, so these are disarmed, means what, they now they are not producing any what, swelling or tumor, or they are not working any means harmful things in the body of the plants or animals. Instead they are used as the carriers of genes. Okay, they act as just as the carriers of genes, as they are disarmed. Okay, they are disarmed by different techniques, and now they are used to deliver the desirable genes into the animal cells. Okay, so once a gene or DNA fragment has been ligated into a suitable vector, okay, it is transferred into the bacterial or plant or animal host. Either it can be what, this vectors, after getting the gene fragment of or gene of our interest, it can be either entered into the bacterial cell, plant cell, or into the animal cell. Is it clear? So this is clear. What we have studied is how Agrobacterium tumefaciens are used in biotechnological method. Okay, they are the tDNA from them. So this was the natural phenomenon. What, the tDNA will be inserted into the plant's host, and then they direct the plant cells to produce what, the chemicals that are needed for the tumor. Understood? Or the cells, or the pathogens growth. Understood? So like this they used to do. And nowadays what we are doing by seeing them is, we have isolated the tDNA and disarmed, means they will not produce any disease now, but they can simply used as the vectors. And same thing is done with what, also with the retroviruses also. Is it clear? So from this we can understand that after what disarming the what the vector, okay, like what tumor that agrobacterium tumefaciens plasmid, that is TI plasmid, tumor inducing plasmid, okay, or various retrovirus. If we disarm them and if we what use them to deliver, we can use them for delivering our gene of interest into various host, like what it can be microorganism itself, or it can be to animal cells or to plant cells. Is it clear? Now we are going to learn about another topic, that is competent host for transformation. Understood? So another topic that we have to study is competent host, okay, or for transformation with recombinant DNA. So we have studied that plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane and it is a hydrophilic molecule. It will not allow any molecules to pass across it. Okay, so we have to make the host cell competent. Okay, so this can be done by different methods. First is what? By treating the host cells. Okay, so it can be, host cell can be what? It can be a bacterial cell, or it can be a plant cell, animal cell, whichever it is. Okay, so this cell should be first treated with a sufficient specific concentration of a divalent cation like calcium. Okay, so first what we have to treat that particular host cell with calcium, divalent cation like calcium, and this increases the efficiency of the cell to absorb the foreign DNA. Okay, and then another treatment is what? By incubating the cells with the recombinant DNA on ice and followed by placing them briefly at 42 degrees centigrade and then putting them back on ice. So this method, okay, were used to make the host cell a competent one, means which allow the competent cell to absorb or to take up the foreign particle. Okay, then in addition to all this, okay, so how it is done? So it is done by incubating the cells with recombinant DNA on ice, and then it should be followed by placing them briefly at around 42 degrees centigrade and then putting them back on ice. Okay, so this continuous treatment, okay, that is incubating with a temperature of 42 degrees centigrade, then putting them back on ice. So this process will make the cell more competent. It will be able to absorb any foreign DNA. Okay, then other techniques are also there, or these are direct methods. Okay, direct methods of gene introduction to the host cell. Okay, till now what we used, some vectors we used. So here there is no need of vectors. Instead, we can directly introduce the alien gene or the foreign DNA into the host. Okay, so first is what? There are various methods for this. First is the micro injection. Okay, so micro injection is what? The DNA, recombinant DNA is directly injected into the nucleus. Okay, the DNA will be introduced into the nucleus of the animal cell. Then another one is, okay, and another method suitable for plants. So this method is mainly useful for plants. Understood? The cells will be highly bombarded. Bombarded means what? They will what, hit each other. Okay, so the suitable for the cells will be bombarded with high velocity microparticles. Okay, so the cell will be what, treated with microparticles of gold or tungsten, and in this, okay, gold or tungsten what structure, there will be DNA of any other foreign gene. Understood? Foreign gene will be coated in the what, this microparticles. Okay, and then it will be bombarded with the cell. So what will happen along with the there is chance of what, this particular gene to get introduced into the genome. Understood? Then another is what, biolistic or gene gun. Okay, so this is also very much useful for the plants. Okay, and here high velocity microparticles or gold or tungsten that coated with DNA will be DNA will be bombarded. It will be hit with the cell. This is also known as ballistic or gene gun. Okay, then another method is what? Disarmed pathogen. Okay, that is the name of that particular method, known as disarmed pathogen vectors, which allow to infect the cells. Okay, so directly the cell will be allowed to means the recombinant DNA will be allowed to infect the cell. Understood? So micro injection and ballistic gene gun method. In micro injection, what it is? The alien DNA will be directly introduced into the nucleus. Okay, and ballistic or gene gun method, what happened here? Gold or tungsten, okay, coated with the DNA, foreign DNA, will be bombarded to the host cell. Okay, the last method is what? Disarmed pathogen vectors will be allowed to infect the cells, and these vectors transfer the recombinant DNA into the host. Okay, so by this methods we can introduce the recombinant DNA to the host. So the next topic is what? The process of recombinant DNA technology. We have studied what? Various tools used, isn't it? Various what definitions, etc. we studied. So now we are going to study how this processes are coordinated and how these processes are helpful in achieving the biotechnological method. So we'll do that in the next class. Thank you.